Hey everyone, getting ready for that big national real estate exam? Good. Let's sharpen up your skills with a really quick rapid fire flashcard review. We're going to hit some of the trickiest concepts out there so you can walk into that testing center feeling totally confident. You ready for this?
All right. First question, right out of the gate. A property where there's been, say, a murder, what do we call that? Now think about it. This isn't about the physical condition of the house, right? It's about its history. So what's that official term they're going to be looking for on the exam?
And the answer is D, stigmatized. A stigmatized property. Yep. This is basically any property that has this, psychological baggage from a past event. It's such a great example of how a property's value can be impacted by way more than just bricks and mortar. Okay, you got that one? Let's dive into our first big topic.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the absolute fundamentals, property rights. Seriously, this stuff is the bedrock of every single real estate deal. So we got to make sure these concepts are locked in tight. All right, here's a classic one, a scenario all about easements, and you know these can be tricky. The whole key to this question is figuring out what an easement appurtenant is attached to. Is it connected to the person or is it part of the land itself? What do you think?
The answer? It belongs to the buyer. That easement automatically transfers. The best way to think about it is this. An easement appurtenant is basically stapled to the land, not to the owner. So when that property gets sold, boom, the easement goes right along with it. You've probably heard the key phrase, it runs with the land. That's what this is all about. Okay, next flashcard. This one's all about ownership structure. We're starting with a joint tenancy, right? But then two big things happen. Someone passes away, and then someone else sells their share. So how do those two events totally change the relationship between the owners who are left? They become tenants in common. Here's the deal. Joint tenancy has that special feature called the right of survivorship. So when Mark died, his share didn't go to his heirs. It was automatically absorbed by the other joint tenants, John and Maria. Simple enough. But the magic of joint tenancy gets broken the second an owner sells their share. When Maria sold her part to Jane, it completely shattered that original setup. So now, John and Jane are just regular tenants in common. That whole right of survivorship thing, gone.
All right, let's lock in a quick vocab term you absolutely have to know. Literal rights. This is all about water rights for properties that are next to a big, static body of water. Think lakes or oceans. And hey, here's a super easy way to remember it. L for literal, L for lake. Can't forget that. Okay, so we've covered what you own. Now let's get into what it's actually worth. It's time for section 2, and we are diving headfirst into property value.
Now, this is a huge foundational concept in appraisal. I mean, before an appraiser even thinks about crunching numbers, they have to make sure the property meets 4, let's call them tests for value. Can you name all 4?
The best way to remember this is with the acronym DUST. That's demand, utility, scarcity, and transferability. It makes perfect sense when you think about it, right? For a property to have any real market value, somebody has to want it, it has to be useful for something, it can't be everywhere, and you have to be able to actually transfer the ownership. If you lose even one of those, poof, the value takes a nosedive.
Okay, get your calculators out. Just kidding, you can do this in your head. It's time for some math. The sales comparison approach is all about one thing, adjusting the comps to make them match our subject property. And what's the golden rule here? Say it with me. Never, ever, ever adjust the subject property. Got it? Okay, let's break this problem down.
So here's how we tackle this. Comp number 1 is better. It's superior. It's got that extra bedroom. So what do? We subtract that 10 grand from its sales price. Comp number 2, on the other hand, is inferior. It's missing a garage. So we need to add 5 grand to its price. See the pattern? The goal is always, always the same. Make the comps look exactly like our subject property.
And what do you know? After we adjust both of them, they both point to the exact same number, $290,000. That's our reconciled value for the subject property. Awesome job if you nailed that one. All right, we've defined the property, we've figured out what it's worth, so now it's time for section 3, navigating the transaction. This section is all about the paperwork, the agreements, and the legal statuses that actually make a deal happen. You know, contracts have a life of their own, with different names for each stage. So what do we call a contract that's in that middle ground? After everyone has signed on the dotted line, but before everything is totally finished at closing.
That's what we call an executory contract. The promises have been made, everybody's agreed, but the promises haven't been fully carried out yet. The easiest way to think of it is just a contract that's in progress. Once it's all said and done, then it becomes an executed contract.
Okay, this next one is so important. It's a critical moment in any negotiation. At what exact moment does a buyer's simple offer become a full-blown binding contract? Is it when the buyer signs? When the seller signs? When does it happen? The timing here is absolutely everything.
Listen up, because this is a two-step process. Step 1, the seller has to accept the offer, right? Usually by signing it. But that's not enough. Step 2, and this is the crucial part, that acceptance has to be communicated back to the buyer or the buyer's agent. If you don't have that second step, that communication, you don't have a contract, period.
All right, we're heading into our final section, and this one covers maybe the most important part of your job as an agent: upholding the law. We're talking fair housing, we're talking antitrust, and we're talking about general professional conduct. Okay, let's clear something up. Two illegal practices that people mix up all the time are blockbusting and steering. Here's the simple way to keep them straight. Blockbusting is all about putting fear into sellers. It's that whole, hey, you better sell now before they move in thing. Steering, on the other hand, is about limiting the choices for buyers. It's like saying, oh, you're probably more comfortable over in this neighborhood. Both of them are massive fair housing violations.
Antitrust laws, they're all about making sure there's fair competition in the marketplace. So take a look at these two options. Which one crosses that very important line from being a normal business decision to being an illegal conspiracy to fix prices?
The answer is B. The illegal part is the agreement between different brokers. See, any single broker can set whatever commission they want for their own company. That's just running a business. But the second that you get competing brokers together and they agree to set some kind of standard or minimum rate, bam, they've just crossed the line into illegal price fixing. And for our very last question, let's do a real-world scenario that's all about professional competence. So you've got an agent who's been crushing it in residential sales for 5 years. Now they want to move into industrial sales. To be competent, what's the most effective first step they should take? The answer here isn't just about hitting the books, It's about getting that hands-on experience. Just remember, passing this exam is only the first step. Being truly competent, well, that's a career-long journey. Keep up the amazing work and good luck on your exam.